good afternoon. How are you? My name is Sujin Kwon, and I'm double majoring in English Language and Literature and Tourism Management. First, let me introduce myself and share my memorable trip with you. I've been living in Daegu for more than around 20 years, and I'm very satisfied with my neighbor because it's really convenient and comfortable to go everywhere. Moreover, there is a park around my house, and it's the best place to take a walk and play badminton, which is my favorite hobby. So this park is one of my favorite places in my town. A few years ago, I went on a trip to Kwon in South Jeolla province with my whole family for 3 days. Since it was the very first time to go on a trip by camper van, it was so memorable and special. We stayed at a campsite near the beach, as you can see in these pictures. And thanks to the site, we had a great time with each other enjoying the ocean view, especially in the evening with the beautiful sunset. It was also the very first time for my dog to go to the beach, and I hope he made lovely memories with us. The 3 reasons why I took this class is that I'm interested in tourism, traveling, and various foreign cultures. So through this class, I want to get knowledge about international tourism and the trend of it. Finally, this class would be helpful for me to achieve my dream job, which is ground staff in an airport. So these reasons motivated me to take this class. And I had to write a comment on YouTube, but I do apologize that I didn't. And next, I would like to introduce 3 destinations I've visited in Jeju Island. The first destination is Transparent Kayaking Site, located in Wol-jeongli. I went there with my sister, and she recommended me to go there because she had a lot of fun while kayaking there in a previous trip to Jeju. Yeah, and I also had fun. It was exciting. Next, aquarium called Aqua Planet. I went there with my whole family in my first trip to Jeju when I was a high school student. And I've heard that this place is popular to tourists, so they prefer to go there to meet a variety of lovely marine creatures, and so did we. The first picture is the one I took, and they are tails of dolphins. The final destination I've visited is ship ranch and cafe called Paren Mokjang. You can feed sheep, take some pictures with them, and also have tea or desserts at the cafe. On the day we went there, the weather was really lovely and nice, so it was perfect. And I wrote a comment about elements of tourism, and I also talked about the reason I love to travel. This is my travel package draft. I planned an ecotourism package to a campsite around the lake in Chungju. I included a tour bus as transportation, the campsite as accommodation, and various ingredients for meals. The purpose of this package is to relax in nature, so I plan to let tourists have a relaxing time as activities. And this is an overnight trip for those who are interested in camping and the nature. I plan to promote this package through social media, and the price for this trip is 150,000 won per person. This is my comment about preference of mode of transport on a trip, and I prefer to take a train. For now, I'm gonna introduce tourism products I experienced. I went to Canada about a year ago and stayed there for 1 month. During this trip, I experienced 3 tourism products which are intangible, psychological, and marketable. First, intangible. It was the very first time for me to take such a long flight, like for around 13 hours. Unfortunately, my seat on a plane was not that good actually. To be honest, it was really uncomfortable because I was in the middle seat between 2 people, and due to this, I wasn't able to move my body, like I was stuck in there. And as a result, I got backache, neck pain, and shoulder pain, like every ache. Like this, sit on an airplane and flight reservation are intangible. Next, psychological. I went snow tubing at Bolo Mountain. I do enjoy winter activities with snow, but I've never gone tubing before, so I couldn't wait for that. I was very excited and interested in tubing. It was much more active, dynamic, and thrilling than I expected. Moreover, it snowed a lot on that day, which made it more perfect. Yes, I was satisfied with the activity. So my tourism product, a psychological one in this, is satisfaction. Lastly, marketable. I watched an ice hockey game in a stadium. There were a number of people who came to enjoy the game, including me. As you may know, hockey is known as the national winter sport in Canada, and this would be a great way to attract tourists as marketing. Most of us like watching sports and cheering the play and players. I became more interested in hockey after I watched the game in person. As we learned in our class, and as my experience shows, the demand of travel will always continue. And this is about my family's travel experience and food culture. I'm also going to introduce two tourism products I experienced, which are accommodation and amenity. My whole family, including my dog, went on a trip to Gwangju for 3 days last year. We stayed at a pension for pets, whose name is Tari네 집, which means Tari's house. Just to give you the meaning of it, Tari is a dog's name of an owner of the accommodation. Since we wanted to take a trip with our dog together, we decided to book the pension for pets. It is noted for a pension for dogs, and I bet those who raise them would definitely like it. We were all satisfied with the accommodation because it was great to stay. As you can see from these pictures, there is a big yard where dogs can gamble. Moreover, because the houses are separated from each other, it's more private and free. There are also fences all around the yard, which makes it more safe for dogs to frolic. Both the interior and the exterior was so lovely and cozy. Thanks to this, we were able to take some pictures on a bench in front of the house and on a bed with a cute duvet and lovely lamps like these pictures. Now, let me talk about amenities I was so pleased with. First, an inflatable swimming pool. There was a small pool for dogs, and this was one of the reasons we decided to stay here. As my dog has never swum before, we wanted him to try to swim. So we prepared the pool for him to play, like set it up and filled it up with the hose. Since it was the very first time for him to swim, it took some time to adjust himself to water. To be honest, he didn't like it so much. Well, I did actually. Next, a terrace. I'm gonna relate this to my family's food culture. Every time my families take a trip, we have barbecue party all the time. So as we always do, we had one on this trip too. Fortunately, we had a great place for it. There was a terrific terrace outside the pension, which was made of wood and had a nice roof. And this helped to make the atmosphere more perfect. We enjoyed ourselves so much while cooking and having interesting conversations. Let me give you more detailed information on my family's food culture. As I mentioned before, we do like to eat barbecue. And there's one more special culture we have. Whenever we roast meat, we always grill 쫀득이 as well, which is a famous Korean chewy snack and one of my favorites. And grilling it is my job among my family as the youngest, and I enjoy that. I think I have some skills to make it delicious, so if you want to eat grilled 쫀득이, then I can give you some tips or I can make them for you. So I will never forget this memorable and meaningful trip. I do like my family's food culture, and I hope we will stick to this forever. Next, tourists and travel preferences. I am a psychocentric tourist because I prefer to go to familiar destinations where I've been before. I like to remind precious memories when I go there again. So these are photos of my family's trip to Gwangju. And each experience of visiting Gwangju has their own unique memories. That's why I like to go to familiar places. I do enjoy going to shows. 2 years ago, when I was 20, before the pandemic, I really like to go to my favorite singers' concerts. The best one of these is definitely Troye Sivan's one, who's my favorite singer. While listening to music with his angelic voice, I was extremely happy, touched, and excited. I really like to go to concerts and enjoy the amazing time as soon as possible. I prefer to go somewhere that makes me relaxed. I really like to go to the beach and appreciate the view, hear the waves, and feel the warm sun, breeze. like enjoy those relaxing time. Regardless of time, appreciating the ocean view is so relaxing and peaceful. For now, I'd like to talk about what motivates me to travel. If I have enough time, then I like to travel to get rid of stress from daily life and to be happy. Every time we go on a trip, there are lots of opportunities to make beautiful memories. And for me, the best place that can provide me with lovely memories and relaxing time is my grandparents' house. When I was younger, since my parents were busy working, my sister, my cousins, and I used to visit my grandparents' house in every vacation. We all had a great time with each other, thanks to my grandparents. They took care of all of us with love and affection. And these places from pictures are the very ones I like. Next, let me talk about a destination I visited. Here is Covent Garden Market, located in London, Canada. I wanted to experience local cultures, so I went there a lot. But the very reason or motivation to go there was ice creams. The first one is called Sugar Rush, tastes like cotton candy, and the second one is, I don't remember exactly, but its flavor was lime or lemon. I do like to eat sweets, so ice creams pull me to go there. This is about responsible tourists. So, what do I do as a responsible tourist? I try to eat local food. I eat poutine and butter tarts, which are national cuisine in Canada. Both of them are great. I also ate pomar kalguksu, which is kalguksu with top shells in Jeju, and gori gimbap in Gyeongju. They are famous and popular local foods, and I want to eat them again. All of these were nice. To be a responsible tourist, I also buy souvenirs from local stores. So I bought a snowball from Canada and postcards and candles from Jeju. They remind me of my trip to special destinations. Also, I try not to be shy when I go on a trip. I did homestays in Canada. When I was on my way to home, there was an elderly woman who was sweeping a garden. I just wanted to say hi to her, so I did it, and we had a short conversation, which was great. I also had a talk with the homestay host a lot, with various topics. By doing this, I was able to experience and become familiar with Canadian culture, get to know each other, and have fun. So, when you travel, I highly recommend to be active, not to be shy. And finally, don't leave any traces, but footprints, and take great memories. I'm gonna briefly talk about group activities. The first group activity was about Maslow hierarchy of needs. We chose a poster of honeymoon tour to Maldives. Each member presented each part of needs related to various activities that this package offers. I talked about higher level needs, which are esteem and self-actualization. Second group activity was about the role of government activity. We also made a comparison of the tourism status between before and after COVID-19 in Spain, and we introduced the initiatives of the government to revitalize tourism. The final one was about advantages of tourism related to social inequality. Among social inequalities, we dealt with racism and economic inequality. And I presented on a special tourism company that tries to achieve deep and lasting change in discrimination, especially in racism, and what we need to do to stop racism. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for listening.